You know what I hate? Adults using kids as tools to hurt other adults. Extra points if those kids are related to them. We saw a parental alienation case where the mother was so unhinged and close-minded that she basically nuked her entire relationship with her kids, but because she didn't want to face the facts, she kept blaming the husband and disregarding the daughter's cry for help. She even made a deranged Facebook post criticizing the drphil show and how it was all one-sided. I also found a page of a therapist supporting SARA's claims about parental alienation. If I find it again, I will link it down below. But yeah, very unhinged. But at least in this case, SARA never claimed the husband did something inappropriate to the kids. That's the difference between her and this mother, claiming her family is in danger and she, along with the kids, are the victims of her husband's evil lust. And unlike SARA, she knows exactly what she's doing.
Today we're talking about the last thing you ever want to hear from your little girl. Mommy, Daddy touched my privates.
That's a nightmare and a half. And that is what Wilma alleges her 4-year-old confessed to her. Then she realized her 2-year-old boy was experiencing the same as her daughter. Immediately, she kicked her husband out of the house, called the cops, and filed for a divorce. All of this 100% understandable. The husband only gets to see the kids through supervised visits. He claims he is innocent and Wilma is a crazy psycho who's fabricating all of this nonsense because the marriage was not working anymore. I mean, he said, she said situation. But either he needs to be prosecuted or she's lying and using her kids as a weapon. Regardless of what it is, those children are in dangerous situation. Now, there have been cases of people thinking they are smarter than anybody else and can lie their asses out and be believed. This could be the case with either one of them.
My daughter is 4 and my son is 2. One day my daughter came to me and said that the boy showed her the worm in her pants. And I said, who? And she said, her daddy. She said, Daddy pulled down brother's panties and then he pulled down my underwear and then he washed his hands. She told me that her dad made her touch her brother's. I felt completely enraged.
At the house, the police asked me if any of this was true. I said no. Wilma has turned my kids into pawns.
If I could, I would cut out him off and feed it to him and watch him bleed slowly. I wouldn't buy a gun and end it quickly.
That was a big smile she had at the end. I don't know about you, but I enjoy watching those videos of kid lovers getting arrested. And every channel that deals with that subject has its own tactics. Some are more cut and dry, they are visibly mad and even mock the person soliciting a minor, while others first gaslight and befriend the creep to later stab them in the back once the police arrive at the scene. Beautiful! But this is the mother of 2 kids who have allegedly been wronged by their dad, and she smiles while fantasizing? I mean, everyone's reactions are different, but it sure looks like something to keep an eye on.
She has said that every time it happened, Adam would shut the door so no one could see.
And you believe this?
I absolutely 100% believe it.
And you believe this right up until this moment. In fact, last night we got text messages from you. We were lying in bed right after you called. The kids were laughing and carrying on. I turned over and my daughter was reaching towards my son's private parts. I don't know if she had been touching him for sure. I got up and turned the light on for her and my son followed us and threw up. Then at 8:13, you texted, I just had a realization. That's why he's been throwing up all along. I feel nuts right now.
If this is happening to the kid, wouldn't he have some sort of markings on his body? Marks or bruises a mother showering the kid will notice? If the kid is throwing up because of what Adam did to him, it's probably because there was some sort of physical violence inflicted on the child, no? I'm not minimizing this sort of case, by the way. I have no experience in this, but I know about having extreme stress. Your body shuts down and maybe vomits. A 2-year-old boy doesn't understand what's good or bad. He just knows his dad is there with him. Just another observation. And the daughter reaching towards her little brother. This video popped in my recommendations and maybe in yours too. I know nothing about these people, but it was interesting. Apparently, there was a video about a kid playing with a teddy bear which was unlisted. The child was punching the bear and then threw it on the floor. Nothing malicious about it. Well, the mother of this kid had animosity towards another YouTuber, and that YouTuber found this video and claimed the kid was doing something extremely inappropriate to the bear, and the reasoning must be his parents were mistreating him. I think she said she was calling CPS on the mother. I don't know. I hope not, because there's literally nothing. This only shows the person's mentality and how everything they see has some eerie background. They are the problem. It may be the case with Wilma and the kids. Another thing to point out, every time drphil asks Wilma a question, she doesn't see him in the eyes. She turns to the void to answer the question.
You say that she was on a, quote, evil kick for at least 10 days prior to all of these allegations coming out. What's evil kick mean?
Just saying that, you know, she wanted a divorce, that she was unhappy with the marriage.
And how long have y'all been married?
8 years, together 10.
And you say for this entire 8 years, he's been you.
Yes. In my sleep.
Oh wow, she added more accusations. If all of this is true, Adam is a dangerous psychopath. And it's a good thing everything is being aired for everyone to see.
She takes lots of medication, and she took this muscle relaxer because she was low on pain pills, and then she would like double up on these muscle relaxers, and I take the same kind of muscle relaxer, and if I even take...
You're such a liar! You take them so many times, Adam. I took one a week. They're still at home. That's why I never got the prescriptions filled,
You would
Adam.
take 2 or 3 a night.
No, I wouldn't.
And then you'd be like,
There's no way
oh,
I'd
I'm
ever
sorry,
would.
I'm falling asleep. It's like, she'd take one at 6, and then around like 10:30, she'd be like, yeah, I'm still, my back still hurts, so she'd take another one. And then within like a half hour, she'd be like totally falling asleep.
Taking 3 pills at night sounds extremely dangerous. Those types of medication are controlled and not meant to be a forever thing. Your kidneys may start annoying you because of it.
I was interested to see if you wanted to talk about that, because if somebody was molesting my children, I wouldn't want to talk about another damn thing. I wouldn't want to talk about pills. I wouldn't want to talk about muscle relaxers.
It's always something
I wouldn't talk about, so I want to talk about that. I would want to find out what the hell is going on, and if it's going on, and what's going on. I mean, that would be my focus here. I was just curious what you wanted to talk about.
Great point. She is choosing to speak about her issues before the kids.
Adam has come to the home trying to lure my daughter out of the home with candy. I heard Adam saying, come down, open the door. I've got candy, open the door. Adam's driven around the house so many times to spy on me. He told the next door neighbor to spy on me through the bushes. Adam has also had the mail lady come to my house. She came inside of the home at one point and just kept saying, who's in there? Who lives there with you?
No, it's laughable. What is she gonna make up now?
I wouldn't be surprised if Adam kidnapped my kids and killed them so that they couldn't speak, so that he wouldn't go to prison the rest of his life.
Either Wilma is maximizing normal everyday scenarios, or she's just the worst liar. Anyway, after the daughter told her what happened, she had a lot to say. So CPS was called, and here are the findings.
Wilma, you talked to the police and you said that you had bedtime conversations that took place the night before. He showed me the worm in his pants. You said who? The daughter said the boy. You said what boy? Daughter said brother. And you asked no more questions. We talked to you about this same conversation. You said your daughter said he showed me the worm in his pants. You said who? You told us the boy that came over yesterday, same thing is said here. You said you asked your cousin. Your daughter said no. Daddy, what do you mean worm? And your daughter said...
Wilma said those statements are different because she may have confused her daughter's words. This means she didn't even know what the kid was saying in the first place, and yet she called the police on her husband. Make that make sense. Well, after CPS interrogated that poor little girl, they found nothing. By the way, a child interrogated by CPS is not whatever. It's an intense moment where the small kid is surrounded by complete strangers in a sterile location about topics that are heavy duty. So no reasonable and loving adult will put their own kids into that mess. Just to put that out there.
According to Wilma, daughter said, you know that pretend guy and that pretend boy and the pretend girl, he made us pull our undies and underwear down and he washed his hands. That's what you told the police. But you told us, Daddy pulled down brother's pants and then mine and then washed his hands. Well, again, CPS has no finding that confirms this.
Again, allegedly, the daughter said the other statement later on, but for some reason, instead of talking to the cops immediately, she stored that information for a TV show.
Quotes, Daddy showed us in the shower. You never told us this. On 6/25, you said could not give any additional details about the drugging because you said he drugs you, right? You tell us you think that he's putting grape Benadryl in your grape Kool-Aid. You said that Adam had strangled and raped you for 8 years, but you never told us this.
I was more concerned about the kids than myself.
Not true. She just can't remember all the lies she has spread between the police and the drphil production. And conveniently, after the police left the house, the daughter spilled more information.
You said, quote, that you were told by your daughter, Daddy touched my private parts. Daddy shut the door so no one could see him touch brother's private parts. Daddy made me touch brother's private parts. Daddy pulled down brother's panties, then mine, and then washed his hands. Those were additional allegations you made after the police left. Why did you not make them while the police were there?
She said them later.
So if the little girl said this and Wilma believed her from the very beginning, then why did she have an epiphany in the hotel room before the interview with drphil?
I did suffer a concussion on Mother's Day, so I don't know if how I haven't even gotten more medical attention since then, so my memory's not as clear probably as it should be, and I have tried to block most of it out just to cope day to day to take care of the children, to even get through the day without going nuts.
She bumped her head while we were out and about having dinner, and yeah, she did have a concussion, and that is when really things did change. She wasn't normal after that, that's for sure.
Now this is interesting. A concussion can make a person change their behavior and even create false memories. This could very well be the cause of everything she's been saying, but don't take Wilma's side just yet.
In the forensic interview with your daughter, the investigator showed daughter a gingerbread drawing of a girl and a boy, which is exactly the appropriate forensic tool to use in a forensic interview. And they talked about body parts. Daughter uses the correct terminology to identify those body parts. At this time, there is no evidence or disclosure to support the allegations.
This is great news. According to CPS, the kids are not being harmed, or at least the little minds are not being contaminated.
Now, then there was a forensic interview, not with the child, but with you. Wilma was advised of the interview process, and we talked with her about the allegations. Each time when we would talk about the allegations concerning her daughter, Wilma would change topic and talk about the relationship with Adam and things that have happened to her. She would change the topic.
Concussion or not, a protective mom will fixate on seeking justice for her kids. The fact she could not stop talking about her business before the alleged incident with the kids paints a big picture of her motives. There was a lie detector test on both of them. First, Wilma.
Wilma, the first question you were asked, did your daughter tell you, quote, Daddy touched my private parts? And your answer was?
Yes.
The second question you were asked is, when you say your daughter told you that Daddy touched my private parts, is that true?
Yes.
The results to both of those is that you were being deceptive.
In order to have failed this exam, she would have needed a -4 or above, and she was a -9.
Her face shows she knew she was going to fail. These words are just to save face. I don't know anything about lie detector test, but if he worked on the FBI, his findings mean something. And you can tell her demeanor doesn't appear to be of a mother wronged, but more of a, oops, I got caught. Now, Adam.
You were asked, have you ever touched either of your children for a sexual reason? And your answer was?
No.
You were asked, since their birth, have you ever touched either of your children for a sexual reason? And you said?
No.
And the results to both of those questions was non-deceptive.
First of all, great news. For Adam, because his name can be cleared. For the kids, because this shows, besides CPS's findings, that nothing happened to them. And for the father/kids relationship. This is great news. I wonder what Wilma has to say about her kids not being in danger.
How is that possible? I swear to God, I didn't do that. She said it. She said it. She said it.
How do you feel about the fact that this test confirms that Adam has not touched your children in a sexual manner?
I feel bad. I mean, she did say it. I swear to God, she said it. I
You
swear to
feel
God,
bad?
she said it.
You should be elated. You have
I'm
just
not
found out.
making it up.
You have just found out that these evidence indicate
not
that your
making it
child
up.
has not been molested. Is that not the best news you've ever heard in your whole life?
Yes, that's terrific. That's absolutely, I'm sorry.
This lady is gross, egotistical to the max. She just found out this fantastic news and all she can say is, oh yeah, good. Anyway,
You just
I'm not
found
making
out.
it up.
anyways, she's gross and now has been exposed as a liar. I couldn't find anything clear about what happened to the family after the episode, but with the CPS record, Adam can keep the kids' custody, at least until Wilma gets into therapy. She has done so much damage just because she cannot keep her ego in control. If you know what happened, leave it in the comments, but hopefully the law could protect those kids from whatever danger they were facing. Sadly, in that household, the only enemy those kids faced was called mother. Before you leave, give the video a thumbs up if you liked it or a thumbs down if you didn't, and tell me why in the comments. And now that you're here, subscribe to the channel. You are more than welcome here. Thank you for watching.